For those of you coming back for more, I appreciate you, and for my new viewers, I have lots of skid steer attachment reviews, so let's jump right into this one. When I first saw this attachment, I got pretty excited about it. I was thinking about all my old 3-point attachments that I thought I was basically gonna have to throw away because they're not worth much. But this right here allows you to use your skid steer and connect to a 3-point attachment. So this one is already connected, as you can see, and it's just got a hydraulic motor, and you hook up to the skid steer. Now, I've already got it hooked up, so I already know the trials and tribulations of using this. Was it worth it? Stay tuned. This here is the 3-point hitch adapter from Landhoner. This is another cheap Chinese attachment, also made by Wolverine. There's a few other companies that make this as well. There is no case drain on this. It is made for low flow machines, 15 to 20 GPM. If we take a close look here, it's a pretty small hydraulic motor, and that's really all there is to this machine. We've got a quick connect on the back, and if we move around to the front, all it does is go into a hydraulic motor that has a standard tractor PTO shaft on it. It has some adjustable shackles, so let's get this thing fired up. Let's see how it works. Put it through its paces. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's see. Please help out my channel by hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel, and leave me a comment about what you think, what you want to see. One of the first things that I thought of when I saw this attachment is, hey, skid steer attachments are expensive, and maybe this will give me a reason to pick up some of those cheaper 3-point attachments at auction, ones that maybe you only use, once in a blue moon, and use this thing here to be able to use your skid steer and get rid of that old tractor, recoup some money, and hey, maybe use some of that money to buy more attachments. So, not off to a great start here. You can see I even pushed those out of the way, but needs to have like a little clamp or something here to keep those out of there, as I pinched it first time I ever hooked up to this thing. So yeah, not a great first impression. One bonus you can see right away is I used this step first time ever trying, and that was really convenient, so that's a positive. Stepping back over here, luckily I've got a cat, so I can route those hoses out of the way, but that's only after it's been attached. I don't know if you figured this out by watching this already, but here's issue number 2 immediately. I've got my connector down here. My 3-point is up here. If I lift this up at all, can't get out of the cab. So if you have a machine with a cab, I don't know how you're even going to use this. So I've got an idea. I'm gonna drive my machine up on blocks and basically with a jack try to move my brush hog into position where it'll go on. I don't know, we'll see. Got a better idea? Let me know. balls are supposed to be adjustable, and they're painted. I cannot even move them by my hand. So here's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to try to lift my machine. So these slide side to side. So my attempt is I'm going to lift it up and try to get this eye onto this end from inside the machine. I don't know if it's going to work. But at least it'll be on camera if it fails spectacularly. Well, it's not off to a good start. You could see what I was doing in there. Even though I have a fully adjustable PTO shaft, it's way too long. So this isn't compatible with at least my current PTO shaft, and I've used this for multiple tractors. It's way too long. I don't know. I don't even think we're gonna make it much further in this video. At least not today. Probably done. So I cannot even get close enough to get these two to align because PTO shaft is sucked all the way in as far as it'll go.
Tomorrow.
Our first attempt was a failure, so we need to take this back apart and to see exactly what size of PTO shaft that we need. I'm going to remove the current one altogether, hook up the adapter, and then do a new measurement just to make sure that it's okay before we order a new one. So let's take this PTO shaft off and mount up the hydraulic to PTO adapter. Here we go. It's already super annoying. Maybe there's a little clip in there. I thought that this one was just a keyed, or I didn't think that this was a keyed one, but maybe it is.
A few moments later.
I'm not going to blame that entirely on the attachment. This brush hog is pretty old, so what a pain though. Not off to a good start. So engine 3/8, pretty standard, but I just wanted to double check. Going this far, I might as well order the right PTO shaft. So standard, like we thought. So engine 3/8, 6 spline on one end and round on the other, and let's get it ordered. So it's hard to see here is these don't spread far enough apart. They are as wide as they go right now, and I don't think it's enough. Yeah, we're all the way. See if I can't loosen this bolt and move this in just like an inch, but overall, stupid process. You can see where this is maxed out on both sides, and so I guess what they should have done is welded these on the outside, because they can slide in and out plenty, but from the center there just isn't enough room.
A few moments later.
Oh, Jesus. Now remember, all that was just to mock this up to make sure that we have the right measurement of the PTO shaft that we need to buy. I picked a bad day to do this. I tweaked my back yesterday, and this thing is heavy. It sucks moving around, so let's get that measurement. This is where we pop on over to the Googles and find ourselves a new driveline. I found this one from Vevor. It's only $69. Let's add it to the cart, send it to my house. Let's go. Looky what we got here. Day 3 here. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty annoyed with this attachment so far. I'm gonna try not to be biased. So it's a beautiful day. Hopefully my attitude is turning around and this thing shows me some positive. We'll see. On the bright side, with a little bit of Vaseline, that thing slid on super easy. So thumbs up for Vevor so far. The rest of it, well, let's get to it. I'm going to hit both of these U-joints with some grease, and then we're going to tighten down the bolts to get this thing ready to hook up to the tractor. Finally, after several days. Can't even get out of my cab with this thing. This is so unsafe. Don't recommend this, but I made it this far. We are at least gonna try it. I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier. That obviously couldn't get out of the cab when I was hooking up, or when I was hooking up to it originally. So what made me think that I could get out of the cab once it was hooked up? Yeah, whatever. We gotta at least mow a couple things. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is so unsafe. Technically, I could put it on the ground, hook those up, but I already have to get in and out of the cab to move the camera. So this is so dumb. Some pretty tall and thick wet grass, and it did a pretty good job knocking all this down. So let's throw it out some thicker brush and head for the blackberries. very, very common with these cheap Chinese attachment is the female fitting leaks. You can see all the hydraulic fluid. That's about 3 minutes of mowing, probably less, and at low RPM. How's that 1500 RPM? Just going in and out. It's just blackberry bushes. I mean, brush hog makes quick work with blackberry bushes, but you know the old saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot more mowing with this. Just going to get out the regular brush cutter and do it the right way. Big reason why I really don't want to keep going with this is I really don't like how fast it stops. There's so much pressure from the hydraulic fluid. And I'm kind of wondering if this would allow me to put in a case drain off of this. I'm not really sure exactly what this box is. Probably could open it up and kind of figure out what's in there, if it's just like a T to tie them together. But you saw, I mean, I'm only at 1500 RPM, and when I'm setting that down, when I'm turning the switch off for hydraulics, I can feel the back pressure. So this just isn't worth putting that kind of pressure on my machine for this, because I have a legitimate brush cutter for the skid steer. This was just to try out this adapter. I don't know, what do you think? Let me know. Here's a look at what we just did, and I think I'm gonna call it at that. I just don't like the way it works on my machine. I don't like it overall, so I don't think I'm gonna do much more with it. So anybody wants a really cheap attachment, hit me up. Just kidding. I didn't get into anything too crazy, but I can already tell that these lines are really susceptible to branches and everything else. I would loosen this up a little bit, put these straight up and down, and put a cover over them. I just see these lines getting ripped off. They're just too out in the open when you get into heavy brush. I'm honestly trying to come up with things I actually like about this attachment. This is exactly the reason why you save up your money, get rid of everything 3-point, get rid of your tractor, and buy a skid steer. I mean, all of the worst parts about having a 3-point attachment are amplified with this thing. It's even worse. You don't have the adjustment. It's all manual. The reason I've probably been so irritated in making this whole video is I tweaked my back in the very beginning on day one, and then I spent money. I should have just thrown away this video, but I'm committed to you guys. I'm committed to making these reviews, and so I stuck with it. I bought an extra PTO, which was ridiculous. All of your 3-point attachments, they probably sit out in the weather. Like mine do, and that makes everything hard to work on. They're rusty, they're older. Let's take a look around, see if I can find something I like about it. I did think of one thing. I did like the step. I did use that. That was a nice touch. Definitely needs a case drain. I don't know, I kind of think I'm wasting my time going over a review of this. Look, maybe, you know, I get it, budget conscious people out there, if you've already got 3-point attachments, I could see why the allure of this thing could grab you. You're like, hey, I already paid for these. Some of them are cheap old ones I only use once a year. I guess maybe you could argue that, but it is a royal pain. I'm filming this having already had a couple days to edit it because I'm waiting for parts to get here. You saw that it didn't even work from the beginning, so I had to order a new driveline just to try this out. I have cut out a ton of time of me messing around with this because the video is just getting too long. So I'm guessing that this video is gonna look pretty annoying, but I didn't want this to be a half-hour long video, and it could have been way longer than that. I sped up, time-lapsed, cut out a bunch of things, and we still have this long of a video, and very little time using this attachment. I wrestled around with trying this adapter on a couple more attachments, and one that I kind of thought would be like a decent use of this would be like to use a fertilizer spreader but put sand in it instead, because you can get a fertilizer spreader for pretty cheap, 3-point, and it's one thing that's kind of hard to get as a skid steer attachment. It's one of the rare things that they just haven't really made a great one, but you go to like any auction and get a 3-point spreader. But this is one of those situations where you just got to cut your losses. This attachment sucks, and I don't think I should spend any more time reviewing it or trying it with another attachment. It's just not worth it. Buy skid steer attachments. Appreciate you guys watching.